Okay, now we've done everything to do with the design of the database and we're happy with that and all the validation works. Now we can actually start looking at the data. Now this bit is a lot more straightforward. So remember, each row is a record and the column headings are fields. So the headings for the data are our fields. And it's just important to know that, because when we come to search the data or sort it, we need to know what fields we're going to search it on or sort it on. So that's the terminology. Those are the keywords that are used in terms of the database. One of the things that you might be asked to do in your controlled assessment is to identify data where bits of data are missing in your database. Now you could scroll all the way through trying to find where the blanks are, and then you might miss some and not get full marks for it. For example, here we've got the Black Mountains Falconry Centre, and it hasn't got a category in here. So so that's one of the bits that we found just by scrolling down. Now the other way of finding things which are blank is to actually use this filter button here. Now, so say for example I was trying to find any blank IDs. Now they're not going to be any blank IDs because we've set up a primary key, and so we won't find any, but just to show you, so if I'm trying to find any blanks here, I'm going to click on filter. This is very like some of the things that you might have seen in Excel, and it gives me all of these options. What do I want to filter on? So hopefully you can just make that out in the screen, or maybe if I just move my database along a bit and then go to filter here. So I've got these options. I don't want to select all of them, obviously. I just want to find any that are blank. And I haven't got any that are blank, actually. That's just a new record. That's not blank data. So I'm not seeing anything now on my database. So to remove that filter, I basically click on this button here, which removes the filter. So name, again, I don't think I'm going to find any blank ones, because it would be very difficult to have blanks for a name. So again, this is an empty record. It's not a blank piece of data. So again, that's not something which is blank. So I remove the filter. Now let's have a look at category here and go to filter. And again, if you look at the options now available for us, we have got ED and LA. Remember, those we set up from our validation and lookups. So I don't want to select all, I only want the blanks, and then I click OK. And again here we have got 2 blank categories. So this bit of data does need filling in. And again, you have to go and find out what the data is. So I've gone on the Black Mountains Falconry website, and it's an educational category, and I've gone to the Cartoon Museum's website, and that is also an educational category. And I can also see that for the Cartoon Museum the type is also missing. So it's a museum, so the category is MG, but again I've gone to find out, and if I've forgotten what these headings are, remember, I can always go back to my design view of my data to find out. So I've filled those in. Now I undo the filter, so I'm not going to have any blanks in category. So remember the thing I was mentioning, if you forget what the headings are supposed to be, you can go to the design view back here where you set them up, and you'll be able to see them in description or just here in your validation rule. So that's where you set those up. So again, I now go and see whether I've got any other blank fields. So type is the next one, etc. So I go and find it, and I need to fill it in. And I keep doing that until I have no blank data in any of my fields. The other thing you'll be asked to do is you'll be asked to add some records, and a lot of the time what people do is they try and add a record in between these two, like on a spreadsheet. So they try and work out whether they can right click on one of these and do something fancy like insert a new row. Yes, you can, but there's no need to, and actually in older versions of Access you can't. So the easiest way of adding a new record, and to make sure that nothing goes wrong, you'll normally be asked to add 5 bits of data, so you will have researched that already on the internet. So you click here, you make sure you type in a primary key which is appropriate, and then you type in the name of your, in this case, I've been asked for a leisure destination. You'll type that in. You'll decide on the category, and you'll decide on what it is. So this is a leisure park, etc. You'll decide on the location and the postcode, and you'll fill all of these details in for that record. And then to add your next one, you will click down here to add a new record. So that's basically using the filter to find any blank data in any of your fields, because you will be asked to do that, and then adding new records, which you do just here. So very easy actually compared to what you've done in the previous stuff. In the next video we'll look at actually searching the database to find particular records that we're after.